We are officially on the road to E3 2019, which of course will be a very exciting time for the world of video games. And of course, leading up to E3, we usually get some announcements that can raise a bit of an eyebrow. And this morning, Monday, we got some very interesting announcements coming from two different companies, Sony and Capcom's release to the Nintendo Switch. So in this video, I want to talk about what is going on. On May 9th, we're going to have a new Sony State of Play presentation. And they've actually outlined some things to expect at this presentation, so I definitely want to talk about those things. And then of course, Capcom is once again coming to the Nintendo Switch with Devil May Cry. And there's a lot of layers to peel off of that onion because there's a lot of different things to look at when it comes to Devil May Cry finally coming to a Nintendo platform. So what's going on and what should you know about it? Sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about all the craziness that's happened this morning.
Hey, RGT85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! So first and foremost, Sony State of Play will be returning this week. On May 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern, a new episode of Sony State of Play will be being released. And I kind of like Sony State of Play as far as the presentation is concerned. I think it's very quick. It's very snappy. They do a good job of presenting the information. It's just that the information we got in the first Sony State of Play was definitely very disappointing in my opinion. There wasn't really any big surprises. There wasn't anything that really rocked my socks. It was all just sort of stuff that we already knew about, stuff that could have been potentially just released via Twitter or maybe a trailer on YouTube. It didn't really need a dedicated style presentation. Well, it seems like they've been listening to fan feedback on their first State of Play event because they've actually outlined some things to expect from this. Now, they have said that the presentation is going to be very quick. It's only going to be about a 10-minute presentation, which is fine. As long as the stuff within that 10 minutes is very good information, then I don't care how long it is. I would rather see a 10-minute presentation than something like Inside Xbox, which drags on for an hour and a half to 2 hours and has a lot of fluff. You know, there's a lot of fluff in there. I just want the actual information. So I think that's a very good thing. Now, as far as what to expect from this, they've actually outlined some information of what they're going to be showing at this event. Now, first and foremost, they did say that there would be no PS5 information. So if you're expecting any sort of next generation information from Sony at this event, you're going to be very disappointed, which honestly, I wasn't really expecting any sort of PS5 information on this. Obviously, that's going to be its own sort of little presentation. I don't think you would want to do that before, of course, E3 2019. You got to see what the competition is doing. So it'll all be based on PS4 related stuff. But they did say that there's going to be an unannounced game being revealed at this presentation. So that's kind of cool. You know, we don't know about this game. It's obviously a new game. And I feel like that will sort of be something to look forward to in this presentation. Now, the main focus of this presentation seems to be Medieval, which was a game that I actually talked about should have been on the last State of Play because we got some basic information on it. We ended up getting a trailer on it, and then the game just got really quiet. And I think that's a game that a lot of PS4 owners are looking forward to. It's obviously an HD remaster of the original PS1 classic, so I think people were looking forward to this. And to come out and say that this will be at this presentation is definitely very positive in my opinion. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more information about this game beyond that initial trailer that we got, so I think that's good. They also said that there will be some sort of game announcements as far as release dates. So then you have to kind of get your wheels spinning because there's obviously two major games coming to the PS4, hopefully in 2019, that we're definitely still waiting for release dates for. That, of course, being The Last of Us 2 and Death Stranding. So if they could do an announcement of one of the release dates of one of those games, I think that would be super smart. If you're coming out with a new game, a release date for one of your major games such as The Last of Us 2 or Death Stranding, and then a heavy focus on the gameplay and more of an in-depth look on Medieval, that's a good presentation in my opinion. So honestly, I'm actually looking forward to this State of Play presentation. I think that they will probably correct some of the wrongs. They definitely said in their little press release that they have been listening to fan feedback about this. So I definitely think it's going to be something to look forward to, if only just to see Medieval, to see when that game is potentially coming out and to see more information on it. I'm definitely excited for it. I think it's going to be a good time. So make sure you let me know in the comments what you think of the State of Play event. Do you want to see some improvements and what you expect to see at this event? But now, of course, we have this announcement completely out of left field, and it, of course, involves Capcom, which is a company that I love to hate. I mean, I'm wearing a Shadaloo shirt right now. Obviously, I cannot hate on Capcom too much. I love their lineage. I love all their IPs that they have, but Capcom on the Nintendo Switch has definitely been a love-hate relationship. There's been some highlights, you know, Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition, all on the cartridge, everything right there. Great, budget price game. Dragon's Dogma, once again, everything on the cartridge, budget price game? Great, this is awesome, this is fantastic. And then you have situations like Resident Evil, where Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil HD Remastered, and Resident Evil 4 are all coming to the Nintendo Switch this month in the month of May, and they're all $30 a piece, which is more than they've ever been for these HD versions of these games on any other platform. And it's like, Capcom, I want to strangle you at times, but then again, it's like, I love your games. So now Capcom has come out with an announcement that has everyone very, very confused, and that is the original Devil May Cry is coming to the Nintendo Switch this summer. The original Devil May Cry. Now, admittedly, the original Devil May Cry is an awesome, awesome game. Let's be honest here. It originally started out as a Resident Evil title and then was put into a new character with Dante, and you got this whole new universe known as Devil May Cry. It has the fixated camera angles. It's sort of like the original Onimusha, which of course saw a re-release on the Nintendo Switch, or Onimusha. Evidently, I say that wrong, but you know what? I'm going to continue to say Onimusha because I'm an ignorant individual. But no, it's just the way I say it. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the original Devil May Cry coming to the Nintendo Switch. It's a great game. It's a game that I remember playing back on the PS2, and I was like, this feels kind of like Resident Evil. I like it. And then, of course, the series ended up becoming its own entity. We reviewed Devil May Cry 5 on the channel. Absolutely fantastic action game. One of the best games of 2019 so far. So on the surface, you might be saying to yourself, well, why is just Devil May Cry coming? Why is Devil May Cry 1 coming? Because obviously they have done a Devil May Cry HD collection that consisted of Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3. This released on other platforms such as the Xbox One and the PS4. This was priced at $30 for all three games, and we don't know how much Devil May Cry, the original game, is going to be on the Nintendo Switch. And honestly, if this was any other company, I wouldn't be worried about this whatsoever. I would just be like, oh, okay, it's going to be a budget price game, you know, no big deal. But when it comes to Capcom, you gotta be worried, because Capcom obviously just doesn't understand pricing sometimes. Is this going to be a $30 game, much like the Resident Evil games? That would make no sense to me whatsoever. You've obviously made a ton of money on Devil May Cry. The original game has sold very, very well. And of course, you have to look at things like Onimusha or Onimusha. Now you got me second guessing how to say it. But Onimusha came out at $20 on all platforms, whereas the Resident Evil games are $30 on the Nintendo Switch and $20 on other platforms when they first came out. So are you going to try to charge people $30 for this game? I don't think that people are going to accept that. I think you need to price it at $20 or less, and I really think you need to consider bringing the whole HD collection over. You know, you could sell it for $40, I feel. I don't think that people would mind a $10 markup to get it all on a single cartridge or something like that. Obviously, these games aren't really all that big. I looked at the file size for the HD collection. It definitely seems like it's something that could fit on a single cartridge with some compression. So I don't know. I'm definitely worried about that. But there's another layer of the onion that I want to peel off of this, because it's something that has been sort of talked about online, and I think it's something that is potentially real, because obviously we're going to get more information on a new Super Smash Bros. Character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and a lot of people have been wanting to see Dante from Devil May Cry in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It would kind of make sense. You see Bayonetta in the game. Bayonetta and of course Dante are pretty similar characters in the action sphere, so I think it could work in the game. But back in February, it was announced by the director of Devil May Cry that the director would like to see Devil May Cry come to the Nintendo Switch before Dante would be in Smash Brothers. And now all of a sudden you have this announcement that coming this summer, Devil May Cry 1 is coming to the Nintendo Switch. So where there's smoke, there's fire, in my opinion. I don't think anything in the video game sphere necessarily happens is coincidence, you know? I think things happen for a reason in the video game sphere. A lot of people are anticipating a potential announcement this week of a new Super Smash Bros. Character. Obviously, Joker has come from the Persona series into Super Smash Bros. Now. We have not seen Joker on the Nintendo Switch yet, aside from, of course, being in Smash Bros. No Persona 5 yet on the platform. Some people are still holding out for it. I think that's reasonable, but who knows what the hell Atlas is doing. But is there some sort of correlation behind him saying that he would like to see a Devil May Cry game on the Nintendo Switch before Dante comes to the Super Smash Bros. Universe? I don't know. Obviously, when you're looking at these third-party characters that are going to be DLC announcements, a lot of them are from video game universes that you might not really assimilate with Nintendo franchises. You already see it with characters like Cloud in the game. Of course, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII was in Smash Brothers, and then Final Fantasy VII ended up coming to the Nintendo Switch. So could Dante be the next character announcement? And is Devil May Cry 1 coming to the Nintendo Switch this summer sort of indicative of that happening? I think there's a decent chance. I'm definitely not going to sit here and say, you know what, Dante is definitely coming to Smash Brothers. You should, get hyped about it and all that. But I think there's a decent enough chance, especially with the timing of all of this. But I definitely want to see what Capcom is doing with Devil May Cry 1 on the Nintendo Switch. It needs to be priced well. I think if it's $20, people won't really care. I think if you do an HD collection, you'll probably do better with something like that. I think people would like to see the original 3 games on an HD collection on the Nintendo Switch. It's already out on the PS4. It's already out on the Xbox One. There's really no reason why you couldn't do that. But as long as Devil May Cry 1 is priced decently, I'll definitely be returning to this game. It's been a long time since I played it. I have not played it since I originally played it on the PS2. I like the fixated cameras. It reminds me of old school Resident Evil, so that's cool with me. But Capcom, please just be very careful with this. Alright, so that is a recap of all the video game news from this morning. A very busy morning, like I said, but I want to hear some of your guys' feedback. Are you looking forward to State of Play this week? Do you think they will improve upon the last time we got a presentation from this? Do you think that we'll get a release date for Death Stranding or The Last of Us 2? And of course, what do you think about Devil May Cry finally coming to a Nintendo platform via the Nintendo Switch? Do you think that this does open the doorway for Dante to be in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you check out other videos on the channel, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.